What up, is Marcus Dynasty with us? We have Waiver Wire Tuesday here. So we have DeAndre Swift signed jersey. All you have to do is be a subscriber, chance to win. We hit 2K. We'll be giving away to one of you guys. We're going to be going through quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. We're going to be going through a bunch of these pickups, especially in redraft leagues, which are going to be very important. There's a couple of injuries, of course, to note as well. We're going to start with quarterbacks right off the bat. There are three quarterbacks that I'm kind of targeting for week 3 if you're struggling at that quarterback position. Number 1, Marcus Mariota, 33% owned, so there is some chances that he might not be available in your league. But you look at a guy who had 17.8 and 14.4 points against the Los Angeles Rams of all teams. Really, if you look at his attempts this year so far, 18 attempts, 98 yards, and a touchdown. So he has been, again, a rushing quarterback. I think they're going to involve Pitts. Drake London looks like he's been an excellent rookie wide receiver so far. So with that being said, I feel like Marcus Mariota is, he's right now quarterback 12. You're looking at a QB, low-end QB1, high-end QB2. I can see him continually do this because of his rushing upside. It's basically a cheat code. And it's why I have him above the other two quarterbacks here. And the other two quarterbacks are Ryan Tannehill. He finished abysmal against Buffalo, but it's against Buffalo, and no one seems to figure out the Buffalo's defense. And so we have Las Vegas week 3. They got torched by Kyler Murray in the second half here. Their defense has just not been great. And so I think Ryan Tannehill will have a really good bounce back week. And if you don't have any of those options, because he's 19% owned, you have Mr. Joe Flacco, who is old and reliable, apparently. 103 pass attempts. That is a ridiculous amount of pass attempts. He's at 300 yards in both games. I know that some of that was, you could almost say garbage time, but it wasn't garbage time because they actually won the game against Cleveland, and that does filter in some of the stats. But he's QB10 right now, and maybe he doesn't continue to be QB10, but I think against he has a couple of good matchups coming up here too. So I feel like they're going to pass a ton. They're going to be in a lot of negative game scripts, and that's what we kind of figured out with the Jets. And that's why I'm going to talk about some of the things I've learned so far. And part of it is I love offenses that are competent enough and have horrible defenses, because it seems like some of those weapons, whether that's been the Jets, whether that's been Detroit, it feels like some of these wide receiver options have been excelling a ton. And we've seen this in past teams too, when Dallas had no defense and had an amazing offense. Their weapons were a much better caliber. Their quarterback, their wide receiver, even the running backs were all better. And then all of a sudden you had the defense start getting better, and all of a sudden their offensive weapons haven't been as good. And we've even seen this kind of with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is really good, and Tom Brady just seems to be like, my defense is good. I'm not going to need to be as risky through there. The wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, 23% owned. He's owned in every single league that I'm in. I, in fact, actually had to start him because Michael Pittman was out. 23% owned. He is the best wide receiver pickup, so just pick him up. This guy is, you're talking about a wide receiver that's a rookie that has enough talent where you could have him finish as a wide receiver 1 in the entire year. Him and Drake London have the abilities. Even Treylon Burks, they all three kind of, again, in this tier 1. This is what we have said all along. I feel like if you've listened to any of my Dynasty things, it's been Garrett Wilson, it's been Drake London, it's been Treylon Burks, it's been these 3. And I know that Sky Moore and Christian Watson seemed like very tempting ideas, but they've never creeped into the top 3 because talent, again, talent wins all. And again, these situations are so fluctuant and stuff, and quarterbacks are going to find the open wide receiver, and that's what they're doing. So, Jacoby Myers, 35% owned, 9 of 13 targets that he caught. Again, 95. He's got a 30% target share, so a ton target share for Mac Jones here. If you're going to trust any New England wide receiver, which we thought maybe it was Devontae Parker, could have been Jacoby Myers, who knows, Nelson Aguilar, we were trying to figure out who it is. It seems like Jacoby Myers is the one that he trusts the most. Johan Dodson, 43% owned. This is going to be less likely that he's available, but 4 of 5 targets, 59 yards, and a touchdown. That offense seems like they're, again, just passing just a ton because they're always down. Again, what I say? When you have a defense that doesn't seem to be doing well, and the rest of their offense is competent enough, and I'm saying competent enough, then that gives you an opportunity to have some of these scoring games. I think Jacksonville was one of the Blake Bortles. I felt like he was garbage time always, but him and his weapons always did well. And so that's something that we're going to have to just kind of jog the memory for 2023 season. Don't let me forget, especially in the beginning, bad defenses, competent enough offenses, that's where you're going to get some of these people that start off super hot. Bashard Perriman, 0% owned. Maybe they rounded down. 3 of 5 targets, 45 and a touchdown. Mike Evans for the entire game. If Chris Godwin, he may not play. Julio might not play. They are running out of weapons there, so you're really looking at Perryman here. So that is definitely an option if you're looking into deeper leagues here. And another one is Ashton Doolin. Again, Michael Pittman, if he's hurt, he's 1% owned right now. And so some of you guys are in 16, 18 team leagues, and this and like Noah Brown are weapons that might just get you by. They're not going to give you zeros. They're going to get you some points, and so that's going to be important. Running backs here, we have Daryl Williams and Eno Benjamin getting 4% owned for Daryl. Eno Benjamin 11%. I think Daryl's a better choice, honestly, but we don't know the extent of James Conner's injury. There could be this thing that happens. All of a sudden, you have the DeAndre Swift. We talked about the signed jersey. The DeAndre Swift, all of a sudden, they put him on a pitch count. They put him on like, hey, James Conner, you're getting 8 touches, and all the rest of them are going to go to Daryl Williams. And in that case, I think that James Conner's value is going to be taking a little bit of a dip here. There is a real possibility that James Conner just performs like normal, but I think that Daryl Williams could be the starting running back when you're looking at week 3. And so he's definitely the biggest pickup. Rashad White for long term, because Rashad White is that James White role for Tom Brady. He's the passing down back. I mean, he's always been that, even at Arizona State. He's a rookie running back. He's very competent in the passing/receiving game. I mean, he's very competent into that role, and so I definitely like him going forward through this entire season. Some running backs also to note. We have Brian Robinson. He's still on the pup, but that's just something to note that if he's been dropped, just kind of look at him and be like, hey, is he available? I mean, Jameson Williams is another one that's a little bit further along into injury, but just be like, hey, is Brian Robinson, is he healthy? Is he available? Because he could be somebody that all of a sudden is that second half darling. Raheem Mostert, 43% owned. Again, it's a mess in Miami, but it seemed like they wanted to give Raheem Mostert majority of the touches and stuff in the first half, at least for Miami. So if Chase Edmonds is not the answer, Raheem Mostert could give you a couple of those games that help propel you into some of these victories into this like week 3 to week 7 until he hurts his knee or ankle or something in his lower body again. And then the last one is Jordan Mason, just because, again, San Francisco running backs, we can never trust. I think they're always out. I mean, how many people, do they have any running backs left? And if they, again, sign somebody from the practice squad, not named Jordan Mason, look at that person too. All right? So again, this is Marcus Dynasty Dads. We will see you guys again tomorrow. Enjoy the waiver wires. Let me know who you get.